Hi everybody, it's Kristen here at the Dahlia Society. I have a special treat for you all today. I've just actually arrived home from a wonderful day out. I visited the National Gallery of Victoria here in Melbourne, and I got to see a really interesting exhibition, the Alexander McQueen exhibition that is currently running in Melbourne, I think until mid-April. I can highly recommend it. We had a wonderful day. Myself and 3 of my daughters went, and I've got to say it is an amazing exhibition full of really beautiful works of art, I should say, clothing, works of art, fashion, but not just that, it's a whole experience. I must say I knew a little bit about Alexander McQueen before I went, but not a lot, and I actually know a lot more now, and I really feel I can resonate with what the legacy he's left behind. His beautiful pieces of clothing, works of art are all, the collections are all based on such an amazing imagination. And I think seeing his vision behind each collection was what really inspired me. A lot of his collections are based on historical events, pieces of works of art, famous works of art. There's just so much that he has drawn inspiration from that really I just found fascinating. One of my favourite collections there was the Neptune collection, which was all about being under the sea and just some fascinating things there. And I think from after reading about his life, that he was actually an avid scuba diver, it really makes sense because you can see the elements coming into the clothing. And one quote that he did make, before I get started and show you the beautiful exhibition coming up, one quote that really resonated with me was that the fashion and the clothing were just a medium for his art. And I think as sewists, we can all relate to that because, time and time again, I'll have people say to me, why do you sew when it can cost you so much more buying fabric and patterns than just going and walking into a store and buying something? And it is, for me, it's about not just about creating my own vision of what I want, but it's the process and the making that gives you such satisfaction. So I can really see where he got that from. So very sad, he died at an early age of 40 years old. But looking back at the history of his life, wow, what an amazing young man. Apparently he used to sew clothing for his sisters. He loved making dresses for them. And at 16, he left school quite early to go on to a career as an apprentice in coat making. Then he went on to work in college. I think the second year in college, his 20 pieces of the collection that he designed were picked up by Isabella Blow, a very famous designer. And then he got picked up by Givenchy, became their main designer as well. And as well as that, having his own label. So led a really interesting life. But I just can't imagine at such a young person in their 20s to have, whole collections picked up. So people could really see the amazing, the prodigy that he was and the dedication and just that finesse and the that real clear vision he had when working on certain items of clothing. Some amazing dresses. I have so many favorites. I love the Heaven and Hell collection. I love the Neptune collection. I love the Scottish inspired collection that he did as well. There's a lot of tartan there, and there's also a nod to the early 2000s. There's so many things you can see looking at his collections where people have copied and got high street store inspiration from. It's just a fascinating exhibition. So if you love not only couture fashion, but just seeing the process behind where the vision comes from, I think it's just fascinating to see where he drew that inspiration from. And I really, really love that, the creative side of things and seeing where a designer draws inspiration from. And there's just so much there that you can really think about, and I found really enjoyable. I think a lot of you would too if you have a chance to head into the National Gallery. It's well worth a good couple of hours. I think we spent about an hour and a half in there, so I really, really enjoyed it. So I hope you can join me while I head on into the Alexander McQueen exhibition here in Melbourne. Today, of course, before I let you all go, I'm wearing a chalk and notch fringe top. This one is about 4 years old, and I have made it in an art gallery rayon, and I'm trying to get some of this fabric. They love you guys. I had so many people ask me, what is that noise? Kookaburras are out. They're performing for you guys. They think it's pretty funny. So yeah, I love it. I love that you guys are loving the wildlife. I'm trying to bring some different things to the channel. I just think it's really nice to showcase our city. I'm going to take you on a little walk around as well before we head on in there. And I'll have plenty more sewing content coming up for you guys in the next couple of weeks with my makes for March as well. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming very shortly. In the meantime, have a wonderful sewing week. Enjoy the exhibition and we'll see you all really soon. Bye for now. Naughty corellas in those trees, eating, making a mess. Look at them all. Melbourne today. We're going to the National Gallery of Victoria where the Alexander McQueen exhibition is taking place. So I hope you can join me. I'm sure it's going to be really interesting.